Welcome, nerds, to another episode of the Nerd Rundown Dadcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, dads, TV, and more. I'm your dad, Darren Simple, and with me today is my co-dad, Eric Hare, Magic Fingers. Joining us today is Big Dad 3000, Morgan Santo.
Hello, chaps and chapesses.
Hello,
Fancy.
Governor. Right? He's so fancy.
I'm a fancy dad.
He's so fancy, Dad. Thanks everyone for watching and listening in. We appreciate it. You can find us on social media at The Nerd Rundown and on YouTube at The Nerd Rundown. And then all of our podcasts are on all the major podcast services. So we have a fantastic show as always for you today. We'll cover the latest on a small but big but small big rundown. And then we have a special segment, which I think is going to be pretty fun, covering some of the definitive takes on comic book characters in movies and TV. So we'll cap it off with a really great nerd question from BT. So let's get to the rundown. First on the rundown, Netflix had a pretty big week or day, whatever you want to call it, right, Eric?
Yeah.
We had a special event where they released a bunch of trailers for their upcoming properties. And we'll get started right off the bat with a personal favorite of Eric and I's. I know Morgan hasn't seen it, but might just have to ruin it for you here, or you have to do earmuffs. So
that's all right.
Maybe just take your headphones off.
Yeah.
But Extraction 2 got a trailer. No new footage in the trailer, but it does confirm that Tyler Rake, Chris Hemsworth's character, does live, which I think we kind of already got when they announced Extraction 2.
Right.
So they kind of gave it away then. But what do you think, Eric, about Extraction 2? I know you just recently watched this.
Yeah, I did. I'm really excited. This is going to be. I'm hoping that it's great. You know, there wasn't any new footage really of anything, so we'll see. I'm wondering how he survives getting all the viruses from falling into that dirty river, but you know
that's how he does survive.
Yeah, it could be.
It just heals him up.
So no, I think it's gonna be great, man. I really loved the first one. I was really surprised. I don't know why I was, but for some reason, like I just never got around to watching it, and so I was on a flight back to DC to visit my dad, and I downloaded that one. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I watched that one and Six Underground on the same flight, and I was like, holy smokes, like how did I miss both these movies? You know, like they both were actually really good movies. So so I was a little disappointed. On my flight back, I watched the Bad Boys for Life, which was all right, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But the other two set the bar so high, it was kind of tough coming back, you know. So
Extraction was awesome. I remember the first time watching it, I was like, this is an adrenaline rush to the like nth degree, and Chris Hemsworth really cemented himself as a badass action hero outside of the superhero genre.
Right.
And showing us that he can play a bit of a serious character. I mean, we know he can do comedy. We know he can do superhero stuff, but Extraction showed that he could be on the level of The Rock if he wanted to, because he and this is so funny. I put it on last night and I was watching. I was like, man, I forget how brutal he is in this movie.
Yeah,
he's brutal. So Morgan, you know, one of the last times you were on, you're like, you felt bad you didn't watch Cobra Kai, and then you watch Cobra Kai all 3 seasons in like half of a day. So go home and watch Extraction, or go downstairs and watch Extraction.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, the way you're talking about it, I definitely got to watch it, because I feel like whenever I watch a Netflix movie, I feel like like it's usually missing something. I can never quite put my finger on it. So
yeah,
if this one's that good, I'm gonna check it out.
I mean,
that's a fair criticism, I think,
it's
too. Yeah.
very, very fair. And there's not much to the movie. I mean, it's just straight action. It's got like a scene that's like 20 minutes long. You know, it's really good. Watch it on like your best quality TV and sound.
I always think it's somewhere. Netflix movies are typically like in between the direct to video and then like a pseudo blockbuster. You know,
right.
it's like, you know, like this could have been if they'd just done like a couple more things, it could have been just a blockbuster. You know, but I don't know. So that's a fair criticism of Netflix movies, I think.
Yeah, there's just always something like that. Ben Affleck Thief one. I don't know if you guys ever watched that one with where they go down. There's like a military crew. They go down. It's really good, but it still is just missing something. Red Notice comes out in a couple months with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, and they released a clip for it. We didn't watch it because we're trying to not watch everything about it, but that is the most expensive movie ever made by Netflix. Possibly due to The Rock's salary.
I was going to say, probably between The Rock and Reynolds and Gal.
Yeah. But it's Rock came out and said it's their biggest movie ever. So maybe we'll see Netflix turn the page a little bit on that. But next on Netflix announcement was the Sandman teaser. It's our first footage from the Sandman, which is a DC comic. They're turning this into a TV series. Really didn't get much from it. I'm excited to see where they take it. He's going to run across paths. He's going to path across. I don't know what that's saying.
Cross paths.
Cross paths. Thank you. I was like missing a word in there. He's going to cross paths with characters like Lucifer, Martian Manhunter, John Constantine. So I think that's exciting. But this trailer did not raise the hype level. What'd you think, Morg?
Yeah, I mean, trailer was interesting. I admittedly don't know much about Sandman, the comics, that is. So I'll check it out. I'm going to. But that's kind of all I got. Like, I just don't know enough about it to. Yeah. Like when watching that trailer, I wasn't like, wow, I need to see this. Like, this is crazy.
Here's the kind of plot synopsis we got. The 11th episode first season of The Sandman is expected to adapt the first arc of the Vertigo comic series, Preludes and Nocturnes, which finds Dream, the main character, captured by a black magician who is played by
Charles Dance.
Yeah.
Charles Dance, who you know from Game of Thrones as Tywin Lannister, and held prisoner for the better part of a century. When he finally escapes, he sets about recovering 3 very important items, crossing paths, encountering Lucifer, John Constantine.
Well done.
Yeah.
We knew you'd get there eventually.
I'm giving up.
I didn't expect that to be so rough. After the cross paths thing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just tongue-tied. Dr. Destiny and the Martian Manhunter and more on his travels. So it sounds really great. Neil Gaiman is developing the show with David S. Goyer, who you would know from the Blade series and some of the previous Batman movies, and so there's some good talent behind it.
The cast looks pretty cool, and the hints from who's playing what is interesting too. I mean, you've got Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones and from Star Wars is playing Lucifer. Jenna Coleman is actually going to be Constantine, so it's not a
man.
It's not a man. Stephen Fry is in it. You know, he's a good actor. Boyd Holbrook, I think.
Boyd Holbrook, yeah.
Is going to be the Corinthian, which will be interesting. So yeah, I mean, we'll see.
You know Boyd Holbrook, so because sometimes people are like, "Well, you guys see these names, and we don't know."
Sure, yeah. He's from Logan. So.
Yeah, or if you didn't watch Logan, he's from the first season of. What's that? With the drug show.
Narcos or something?
Narcos, yeah, Narcos. So he was one of the detectives that teamed up with.
Who is he in Logan?
He's the mercenary, the lead mercenary in that.
Okay.
The Wolverine. Yeah. He's got that southern. Tries to have that southern drawl. As I live and breathe, the Wolverine, and he's a junkie. You know.
That's right. Yeah. So listen, this is supposed to be a huge show. It's supposed to be a really good show. It's got some great talent behind it. Looking forward to it. We'll see as we get more footage and bigger trailers and more story details how it changes our hype for it. Then a Stranger Things 4 teaser was released. Again, these Stranger Things teasers haven't been much. They are showing very little. I don't even know if we'll ever get a big full trailer, but this one started us off in the 50s at some, like, looks like it's definitely going to be a haunted mansion someday. And it turns out that it was, because then once it flash forwards to the present day, you've got the kids walking through there, asking things like, what are we looking for, kind of stuff. And then it shows that clock that's been in just about every teaser trailer, I think. So something big about this house is going to play a big part in the new season. And maybe that's where, like, the original portal to the Upside Down world is. I don't know. But listen, any little Stranger Things season 4 stuff, I'm just like eating it up right now. So I can't wait till the next thing. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, same way. I'm excited for the series. I'm looking forward to watching it. That first season, the 2 and 3 have been good seasons, but man, that first season was just so great. Just so great. Like I there's some shows I watch where I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome, and then I'll go like, oh, I can't wait to see more of that, but it usually takes me a couple of days to watch everything. I literally could not watch that series fast enough. Like I could not. I stayed up super late watching stuff way past when I should have been, and because it just was so great. So I'm still hoping that magic comes back, but so far I don't have any comment about the series so far, just because what they've shown is not much. So but yeah, it's such a great. I love the kids. I love the adults in it. I thought Sean Astin was a great addition to the cast. Even though he's not but they've done a really good job of bringing in some really good actors, to play good roles and stuff. I still think Winona Ryder, her role in that first that first season was just amazing. So David Harbour is really great, so Matthew Modine does a great job as being the villain, I guess. I don't know, I think
we're gonna revisit where more of his character this season. I think so, give us some more backstory, which would be good to see. But all in all, I thought, and then the kids, of course, have just been really, really great. So they're a great cast. Mark.
I'm kind of interested to see where they're going with this one, because as we were discussing it a little bit earlier, and I don't know the correct term for it, it looks like they're trying to make this, I don't know, more. The show is obviously a horror show, but it looks like they're, based on the teases we've seen, they're trying to go a little more into that. I mean, this latest tease, it seemed like something's haunting this house, which takes over the dad, because based on the little clip, it looks like he kills these kids, but no, we don't know. Because it was we're all dads here.
We're all dads here, so.
There's some Tuesdays that come on,
and you don't clean your room, you can only do the handle so much. But so we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. But like you said, we don't really know where they're going with this. They haven't really showed much. I feel like we haven't gotten a real trailer.
I don't know if we will. I mean, we've gotten like 4 or 5 of these little
these little teasers.
Give me more. So I'm very excited. Definitely gonna do a full Stranger Things episode before the season comes out. And it was one of those shows. I remember the end of season 2 at the dance. That was like the most, just one of those scenes that was just like, okay, this is when you know you're watching something special. Because they can just capture that like innocence of kids and nerd kids, and you know we all grew up nerds, so we know what it's like. So Army of the Thieves was another thing that Netflix announced, or at least that they released a trailer on, and this is a prequel.
Cool. Oh, man, you okay?
Yeah, you're doing well today.
Prelude, and then I'm like, that's the wrong word. So prequel, prequel to Army of the Dead, which Eric and I watched and didn't like. Morgan watched because he loves everything, and so this actually looked pretty good. It's a prequel to Army of the Dead with the safecracker Dieter.
Really, the only highlight from the movie.
Honestly, he was the only one that like had any presence about him in the Army of the Dead, and he gets his own movie here where he wins as like a safecracking contest, and then
competition.
He's recruited into thieving for a living. So again, he was the best part about Army of the Dead, and now he gets his own thing. I'm going to ask Morgan, because Morgan, you're the zombie loving fool here. What do you think?
Well, I'm excited. No, I like anything involving heists as well as zombies. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this. I do like that it seems like the zombies aren't really going to be any focus in this. Like it's happening. We know it's happening. And we'll see some teases and probably little things. But this looks like it's just going to be a heist movie. And I'm interested to see, you know, spoiler alert, it looks like he's going to be robbing the same gentleman who hired him in the first movie to go get money out of his safe in Vegas. Right. It looks like in this movie, he is robbing this man's safes in different areas. Right. So I'm interested to see them play on that and what they do with it and how it intertwines. And if we find out anything about the robot zombies and aliens from the first one.
Yeah.
I did have that same thought. I was like, I wonder how this will play into that universe, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be, I honestly, when I read when they were talking about Army of the Dead, they talked the guy who plays Dieter talked about his character and how he had like this whole background planned out for this dude. Like he went to Zach and said, "Hey, look, this is what I have for this character. This is the background of the character." And Zach was like, "Dude, this is great. You know, we need to explore this." And he really stole that movie. Like Bautista was a badass in the movie. You know, he was. There was just a lot missing. We just talked about Netflix just missing, you know, like there's just stuff missing, and everything is there for a really great movie, and it just missed, and I don't know why. I can't tell you what that was, and I'm not sure. From what I understand, they replaced the helicopter pilot, and so like every scene that she's in basically is all by herself. Like they had a completely separate person in that helicopter pilot role because she just wasn't getting it done. The person who was originally cast, and or he, I'm not sure if it was a guy or a girl, but
he got into some hot water with stuff, so they removed him.
Yeah, and so the gal that they popped in there was awesome.
Do we know who it was?
I forget his D'Amelio. I can't think of his first name. He's a comedian.
Yeah. Well, she was great. I mean, the one that replaced him was really great. So really, the two of them.
Tig Notaro is her name.
Yeah,
she's a really great stand-up comedian.
Yeah, she's really funny, and she was really great in that. So between her and Dieter, they were really the highlights of that. You know, and then of course the zombies themselves. You know, but other than that, and so to be able to go back and kind of see where this kid started from, you know, and his nervousness, his demeanor, his the way he talks, his accent is just it's really endearing. Like it's super, you know. And he's like, it's just I don't know. I'm really excited. Plus, Natalie Emmanuel is in it, who is from Game of Thrones, and she is not ugly. So
No.
I will watch her paint the house.
On the other end of the spectrum of not ugly, like there's not ugly,
Yeah.
and then
Complete
there's Natalie
opposite side.
Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
She was Daenerys Targaryen's right hand woman. She was the one who always said the big long title of who Daenerys is. So
Yeah.
if that gives you any idea who she is, other than she's like the really hot woman. So
Yeah, she's smoking.
she is. So looking
What
forward
was
to
it?
it.
What do we always say that we watch her paint?
Yeah,
paint
I'd watch her paint the wall.
paint the wall. Yeah.
And you know what's amazing? that Army of Dead, they were able to replace an entire character with CGI and do all that, an entire character, but they couldn't handle Superman's mustache correctly.
Right.
Right, like because you don't even know like she was not originally in this Army of the Dead. Like
If you didn't know the trivia bit, you would never know that she was never there with the
I
rest
didn't
of
know
the
that.
cast.
I didn't. I just learned that. Yeah, and then again, it goes back to like you can't wait like 2 weeks to grow this out.
Right, yeah.
You're gonna grow that
Come
back.
on.
Yeah, seriously, like it was the weirdest thing ever in Hollywood. That mustache thing was just a weird thing. Anyway, looking forward to that. Hopefully it's better than what Army of the Dead gave us. Sorry, Morgan. Ozark season 4 got a trailer too. Lots of season 4s. Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, Ozark. So looking forward to Ozark. Didn't give us much at all. But it looks like they're still in hot water. This is an incredible show that puts normal people into very tense situations, and it's really exciting watching them get out of these situations or whatever. So go ahead, Eric.
Laura Linney. I mean, I'll be watching Laura Linney wash brain matter out of her hair is apparently how that's going to start. But and I'm okay with that because I'm sure she'll do a Laura Linney job doing that, which is a spectacular. She's a spectacular actress.
Great.
Her character in this show, the arc of her character has gone from
it's incredible.
It's just been incredible. And Jason Bateman, his character is really, really great. You know, even the kids in this series have really grown tremendously. You know, and the villains that they bring in have just been really good. So it's been a really great series, and I was pleasantly surprised. We picked it up, I think, during the pandemic. We started watching it, and man, awesome, really, really great. Yep. Morg?
Yeah, I mean the tease. It looks like the tease picks up right after the end of the last season. You know, I won't say exactly what happens, but you know the thing I love about the tease in the show is what they were to what they are now. Like here they are in a bathroom cleaning themselves up. It almost looks just normal, you know, like
right.
Just like,
oh yeah, good.
Here we go again. Let's just clean it up. So
every Tuesday.
Brain matter Tuesday.
And I like too that it looks like it's at like some sort of family reunion or a birthday or something to show also how vicious this world Mexico. They're in is with what just happened was literally outside of the house at a birthday party or something, right. And now they're back in there having fun.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
the cartel
to see how
people
they get
are
out
in
of
there
this.
having fun.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. The cartel's having fun. Yeah.
If it was ever wondered how I landed Banana as a wife, she calls Jason Bateman her boyfriend. So that's her level of like that's who she goes after, and that's how I was able to land.
Listen, I hear you.
Banana.
Pacey from Dawson's Creek is my wife's all-time crush, so I was like, I get it. You go after average.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like average and funny. All right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Take it. I mean, this isn't
my wife's Matthew McConaughey, so I guess I feel good.
I see it.
I feel good. You know, I've got the washboard abs. They're just buried below. Was the line from Couples Retreat? It's buried below layer upon layer of dormant, relaxed muscle. So.
It's fair. I mean, we're all living our best lives.
Yeah, we are.
And then lastly, on the Netflix rundown, we've got Cobra Kai season 4 Very hyped for this. Cannot wait. Again, not much of a trailer, about a minute long. My biggest takeaway is what's his name, Terry from Karate Kid 3.
Yeah,
they showed like a glimpse of him, and he looked like an old ass grandpa in that dojo. But maybe he gets whipped into shape or something. I don't know. But I cannot wait to see him return, because he's just one of the all-time worst bad guys that just you kind of love to hate, and can't wait to see what he brings to the season. And then also the show's the best when you have Danny and Johnny teaming up, and so now they're teamed up all under one banner. Yeah, and they're going after Cobra Kai, so looking forward to it. What did you think, Eric?
I loved it. You know, the dichotomy between Johnny and Daniel. You know, Daniel's like this upstanding businessman. He's well spoken. He's just, you know, he's trying to be diplomatic about everything. Yeah, and Johnny is raw, just, you know,
punch him in the face.
Almost white trash, like, you know. I mean, he just is like we're gonna kick their ass, and, you know. And then Johnny's like, well, we're gonna do it diplomatically. He's like, we're gonna take him down. But it's like, and the kids are like, I kind of like that guy's, you know, take, like, they're all like, I kind of want to go with Johnny's, you know, take on all that stuff. So I thought it looked great. You know, Kreese, again, Kreese and Terry both are just really great villains, and so they make your heroes so much better when you have really good villains to go up against.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to it. It looks great. So
Morg's all caught up now on Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so I can talk
be
about
part
it.
of the conversation.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. You know, that relationship, it is fantastic. I did notice a quick clip. I'm drawing a blank on Johnny's son's name.
Just call him Open Mouth.
Open Mouth, yeah. He was also in the He's All That movie that just came out.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was teaming up with Daniel's daughter again for a quick second there. I don't know. Maybe they were about to fight.
Maybe that was the other girl that Danny's daughter fights.
Oh, that's right. It could be the vicious one.
I thought that exact same thing.
She really is.
She's brutal. Yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm calling it now. We're going to get at least 12 close-ups of getting that ponytail ready. At a bare minimum, 12 close-ups of that.
I like that over on. I'll take the over on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the over on that one. Yeah, very excited. Let me ask you this, Mark. So you recently got caught up on it. When you were watching it, I know you liked it, but tell me what you felt watching it.
I felt happy. No, I felt entertained.
It made me warm below the waist.
No, so I do have. There is a cheesiness to it that I like. That
yeah.
As much as I
like knows it's cheesy.
This is going to be rough to admit.
Okay.
So Deanna watches some of the worst television.
The Housewives?
Not the Housewives? Bad. We're talking
okay. That's just my wife.
Little Liars,
okay. Right.
Riverdale, right? That stuff. So she'll watch Riverdale.
Okay. Yeah, Stace loves Riverdale. Yeah.
But when she has Riverdale on, I can't stop watching it because I'm like, this is so ridiculous sometimes that I'm like, what is going on? And then you have scenes where, like, Cobra Kai, when it's like, oh, I heard a noise outside. So the kid goes outside to check, and then he comes flying through the window because they toss him through the window, right? Like, I was like, all right, these are high school kids that are having
like
a little
the
beef,
whole school
like,
fight through the whole entire school is you're just watching it like
like you're like, all right,
they went with this, huh?
You know, I do like that stuff, but no, I like how they portray Johnny's character and the whole. Daniel seems like the bad guy, his point of view. Yeah. No, I was thoroughly entertained by it, and I couldn't stop watching it. So
It's honestly like one of those shows.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of framed it perfectly. It's just like,
yeah,
it's cheesy, but I can't stop watching it. It gives me nostalgia feels below the belt, and like it's just
much better than I expected, especially with it being, because it was like a YouTube show, right?
It was YouTube Red.
Yeah,
it was like their original.
When I heard that, I was like, I'm
never launched YouTube Red,
TV,
I think.
YouTube television shows.
It really did, and it was really, of all the YouTube Red stuff, it was the only thing that took off. It was the only thing that took off, and I mean, super low budget. It wasn't high, but it didn't have to be. I mean, that's the cool thing about this series, is it doesn't have to be. You don't need any special effects. Just good choreography, and they had good people. They had great characters.
It's funny.
It really is
funny.
It really is
so funny.
And they stacked the drama so well, because you want these two guys to get together. Like you just want them to get along. Right. And every time that they get like that close to working it out, there's a misunderstanding and something goes sideways, and somebody paints a penis on a billboard, and then they're like, wow,
And I will say, with this season, I really hope they don't do that again.
I hope not,
because now I'm over the different version of the will they won't they,
right.
Now it's like, all right, let's just they got to be together now, like let's not do something's gonna break them up, do something different.
For sure. It's like I said, it's the best. It's when the show's at its best, is when they are together, and they always teased it like in episode 8, like they would like have dinner together or something, and then something would happen. So I hope they don't ruin that. Anyway, moving on in the rundown, we got a new trailer for new Tom Hanks Apple TV Plus, Apple Plus. I don't know.
Apple Plus, yep.
Apple Plus movie called Finch, and it's Tom Hanks alone in the world again, with a new kind of Wilson. This one talks. This Wilson talks. It's not called Wilson, but it does give you the bit of Castaway vibes when watching it in a different location or different setting. And I really just hope we don't get a new Wilson scene where he's screaming at the top of his lungs as Wilson floats away. So
could be Spalding. Is it named Spalding? Is that Spalding? Maybe not. I don't know.
You know what? I wouldn't blame him if he did it. So.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised. This is directed by Miguel Sapochnik, who directed some of the biggest episodes and best episodes of Game of Thrones. Also some of the worst, but we don't talk about season 8 around here. So it's exciting to see Tom Hanks back in a movie where he's carrying everything. And so what'd you think there, Eric?
Well, I was just listening to an interview with Tom Hanks on a different podcast. HBO Max has a podcast right now celebrating the 20th anniversary of Band of Brothers, and so the first episode is an interview with Tom Hanks, and he talks about that character. And so listening to him go through the progression of how they wanted to present Band of Brothers to the world, he is meticulous about how he does everything. And so you could really see in this trailer how he's worked out this character, and he's different from the guy that was on the island. You can totally tell this is a different character, and he's got different motivations, and he's doing different stuff, and he's at he's obviously older than he was.
Oh, you said obviously.
He is. It's obvious. It is obviously he's older than he was.
Eric, we almost went 3 full episodes without.
I know, that was pretty good. I really thought we were making it.
Thanks. Well, I think the word actually fits in that particular situation. So
it's the game, the rules.
Yeah. So I think it looks great. The dog is a dog, it looks super cute dog, I guess, or whatever. Family will love him.
The dog is a dog.
The dog is a dog.
Got his own toys.
Yeah. The robot is a nice element, that adds that child to the without being a child. So he gets to teach it. Yeah, he teaches it all that stuff, and then it kind of grows into this hero, and so I imagine eventually he'll die, and the robot will take over as the caregiver for the dog, until whatever. But who knows? I don't know. But
Tom Hanks will die.
Yeah, Tom Hanks will die.
Okay.
Yep, and the robot will take over and help take care of the dog. So
okay, I like that theory. Mark?
That's my take on that. But it looks great. I love I love post-apocalyptic stuff. I love The Postman. Kevin Costner. I know a lot of people hated it, but
Waterworld.
The Waterworld and The Postman, I thought both. I actually didn't mind Waterworld. That's going back to our terrible movies that we watch.
Guilty pleasure.
I watch it and I go, like, I love what's his name? No, yeah, that part is so funny. But they what's his name?
Sterile.
What's his name in that is so good. The bad guy. Dennis Hopper's so good in that movie.
But is Dennis Hopper not good?
He's just amazing in that.
Good.
When he's sitting there and he looks back at the picture and he goes, St. Joe, he's talking about Joe Hazelwood who crashed the Exxon Valdez, and he calls him St. Joe. He's all, St. Joe, help me. So it's just great stuff. But yeah, and then of course, yeah. So anyhow, that's kind of my theory. I thought on it. It looks good. I will definitely watch it for sure. Love Tom Hanks. Love anything he does. So
cool. Mark?
Ditto. I'm Tom Hanks is just one of those people that no matter what he does, it's probably going to be good. I like post-apocalyptic stuff as well. We don't really know when this is set. I would guess it's future-ish and not now, seeing as how he's building a robot that can do what it does. The nice thing about Tom Hanks too is when he does get into these situations, these hairy situations where he's left alone, he's always smart, which helps. Because I know, like, if I was on the island, I would die. Like that. That's it.
Like my
5 days.
Yeah.
That's
5 days.
Killing myself.
Yeah, 5 days at best.
Yeah. I'm not knocking that thing out of me.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. In this movie, he builds a robot. So, like,
right.
Every cable TV repairman can do that, Dad. Like that's.
I mean, I would definitely have opened up that FedEx box immediately, and I would have been like, how does this help me?
How's this help?
I'm looking forward to it, though. I'll watch it. I have the Apple Plus, so I'll definitely check it out and see how it is, and I'm sure it'll be good. But I haven't watched an Apple Plus movie yet.
Me either, actually, and I've only watched the TV shows, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, I did see Apple.
I think if there's been a big Apple Plus movie.
Well, did they do Greyhound? Did Apple Plus do Greyhound? Oh yeah,
the Tom Hanks
with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, they did that.
And that was supposed to be really good. I didn't watch it yet, but I've heard I've not heard anybody say a bad thing about it. It's supposed to be pretty good. So Greyhound is about Hanks plays a captain of, I think, of a destroyer in World War II that's escorting
not know about this.
The convoys across the Atlantic from the U.S. to England or something. I think it
came out. I think it came out during like pandemic, and it didn't have. Like, I think I maybe saw like 1 or 2 commercials and then forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's in the library, isn't it?
It is in the library. Should be. So.
Okay. So yeah, looking forward to that. Let's get to the next thing on the rundown, which is Mario.
Yeah.
And we've got announcement this week from Chris Pratt and his team of people that new Super Mario movie is on the way. It's not a live action, so you will not get to see Chris Pratt's beautiful face be Mario, but he is voicing Mario. We also have a really great cast that rounds it out. You have Anna Taylor-Joy from The Queen's Gambit as Princess Peach. You have Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, Charlie Day as Luigi, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, which I'm really excited to hear. Sebastian Maniscalco, really great stand-up Italian stand-up comedian. He plays Spike, who actually I don't really know who that is, but I'm sure he'll do a great job.
He's not like a real main character or anything.
Yeah. And a good voice actor in Kevin Michael Richardson. It will be voicing Kamek. Sure. So really, really excited about this. What do you think there, Mr. Video Game Nerd yourself, Morgan Santo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited that we're going to get a real Super Mario movie. And the cast is, I mean, that says it all. I feel like there's no way this could go wrong. You know, I'm really, I feel there's no way they can, as long as they don't.
This explains a lot about Morgan and movies, you know.
As long as they don't change the design of the characters like they tried with Sonic for some reason. But no, I think this is going to go well. I know they're saying Charles Martinet is in it, and he's voiced Mario for a decent amount of the character's life. So I don't know what he's going to be in the movie, just as voice, but we'll see. No, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be funny. I guess I should wait until we actually see some footage before I say they can't go wrong.
Morgan's like, I love this movie.
That's great. I've watched it 3 times.
I mean, it has to be better than the other Mario movies we got, right? Like,
there's a very low bar here. Low bar.
Well, this begs the question: is Sonic the best video game movie ever made?
That's a question for a later date, and one that we need to discuss, because that probably is true. But it's not even close. Like, I don't think it's even close. I really don't. It's again, low bars in the video game.
Low bars, but that movie is way better than it should have been. It's way better than it had any business being. Yep. So
with its
really
obvious
good
advertising in it and product placement.
Yeah.
It's still good.
You said obvious.
Donut Lord. I mean, just, you know.
Morgan said obviously.
Does that count though? Because I was literally pointing out how they're like,
the rules of the game.
A gift card for
you guys.
Your family here.
3 episodes without saying obvious, which means we're bettering ourselves. So if we slack off now, we're just going to roll back into our old selves and keep saying obviously in the wrong time. So it's good to keep it here.
It is a word that is in the English language dictionary.
You don't understand.
I think what the problem is, the struggle here is that you're the one with the problem using that word too frequently, and now you're punishing the rest of us for
when we use it correctly.
When we use it in common usage.
I'm only trying to make sure my fellow dads and podcasters are. Listen, Mom always said, "Effective people speak effectively." So.
Well, I'm not going to argue with your mom. She is our #1 fan.
There you go.
She's the best.
Right. Yeah. Mom knows best. Where were we? Super Mario. Eric.
Yeah, I feel the same as Morg. I think it looks. The cast looks tremendous. I did watch the Instagram video that Chris Pratt put out. Very heartfelt, you know, for to be cast in that particular character, but he had a really great personal story that he shared about how he used to go to this laundromat and play Super Mario, you know, and so listening to him, this means it's a silly character, it's a silly thing, but it means a lot to him to be able to voice that particular character on the big screen, and I think that's great. You know that means he brings passion to the project. He brings, and he, to me, Chris Pratt's one of the good guys in Hollywood. I mean, he really is just a tremendous person. So I'm looking forward to. I watch just about anything he puts out. So
I will watch.
I'll watch him paint the wall.
Yeah,
I'll watch him paint the wall.
Yeah. He'd probably make it entertaining.
He would. He would.
He's in shape too, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
All right. That's a rundown. Big Netflix week, and going through the week, I was like, "This is going to be a really light rundown," and then Netflix was like, "Here you go. There's all this content for you." Yeah. So, thanks Netflix. Looking forward to everything on that list. Cannot wait for Extraction 2. Cannot wait for Super Mario Brothers, and Stranger Things and Cobra Kai. I guess all of it. So, okay. So on to our special segment where we're going to talk about the definitive takes, or we're going to give our opinions on the definitive takes of characters. And the rules to this is it has to be a movie or TV. It to kind of talk about like how it works is you have a character in a movie. A lot of them have multiple movies. A lot of them have multiple takes on the character. What take do you think is the best character? Best take on the character from the comics or whatever you believe is the best, right? So, for example, you have multiple Supermans. You have multiple Supermans. So you have your Henry Cavill Superman. You have your Brandon Routh. You have your
Christopher Reeve.
Thank you, Christopher Reeve take. Which of those guys do you think is the ultimate take on Superman? Also, you have, say, Iron Man. Iron Man's been in a ton of different movies. He's usually about the same, but which take on Iron Man from Robert Downey Jr. do you think is the best? So as he comes up, you could say, you know what, he was the best in the first Iron Man movie, but you know, maybe he was the definitive take of him was Iron Man 3. That's not the answer, but that's just an example. Okay?
Maybe it is.
So
it's not. You'll be wrong.
You'll be kicked out if you. I'm going to start off with a really tough one to get us started, and that's a character we all love and a character who we've had a bunch of different takes on, and that would be Batman. So I'm going to start with Eric. You're a big Batman guy. Who do you think is the definitive take on who do you think is the definitive take on Batman?
You know, that is hard because the best Batman is not necessarily part of the best Batman series. So, right. You know, I don't think Michael Keaton and Tim Burton's Batman series was the best of that character. I do love his take on Gotham. I do love his take on the character. I thought he did a great job there. I loved, as annoying as it is, I loved Adam West's his Batman, campy Batman stuff was great. Yeah, you know, just really great stuff from the 60s. I thought that was a great series. The thing with Batman is a lot like I feel it's similar to the monologue that you get in Field of Dreams from James Earl Jones about baseball and how baseball America kind of gets rewritten and baseball kind of stays the same. You know, Batman gets rewritten as America moves on, you know, so whatever America needs Batman to be is what he is, you know. And so in the 60s they needed a campy Batman, so that's what they got, you know. And then in the 80s we got this dark, you know, alternative world to Batman, you know, and then you have Nolan. So I'm gonna go with Nolan's, I go with Nolan's and Christian Bale's Batman over any other because he's grounded in real life, and I really love that. You know, he's very somewhat practical. You know, what could a billionaire afford? And you know, the billionaire spelunking, base jumping.
Is there a certain movie from that trilogy that you believe is a better Batman?
Yeah, I think as much as I love The Dark Knight, the Batman Begins, I think is the definitive take, just because you get to see the emotional progression of Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is the key to Batman, and it gets overlooked all the time because everybody just wants to talk about the costumes and the toys and all that other stuff, you know, but Bruce Wayne is the character. And so you watch him, you know, that speech at the end where she tells him, you know, that the Bruce Wayne character is really his mask, mm-hmm. and that he is Batman, you know, and I thought that was really, really great. So that's where I said the Batman Begins is to me the definitive take on him. So
cool. Yep. Good.
Mark?
Yeah, well, Eric's wrong. Clearly, it's any Batman where you get bat nips in the suit. That's the definitive Batman. But
I have to agree.
So, yeah, I think the definitive Batman is a Batman we didn't get much time with, unfortunately, and that's Ben Affleck. I think he does the best of both worlds.
Oh.
And I'm going with that of he has the look of an older Batman, a Batman that's been through some things. But he has that build, he has that look, but he also has that charm that you want to see from Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I
really wish he had a solo movie, because I think if he did, that could change this conversation a little more too.
Yeah.
If he had his own solo movie.
Yeah.
But I just think overall he has that commanding presence. He has that emotional breakdown of he's at that point in his life where he's just like, it's just gone. Like, we know based on the movies that he's in, you know, Robin has died. He's been through a lot, and I think he does that very well at portraying that, and that anger that he has. He does a good job with that as well.
Which Batman of that, which movie do you think is the definitive take? Because you got to name the movie that you think is the definitive.
I know, I do. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Justice League.
Okay.
And I say that because you see more of him in that, so you get more of both worlds of him in that movie, I think.
Okay.
I did love his Bruce Wayne. Like, I thought he was really good. My problem was the voice. I just couldn't do the voice, the digital voice.
See, that's one of the things I really liked about it, was that it was smart. Like, he would use something to alter his voice, so you just.
I'm a Venn diagram of all you guys. So I think the best Batman is Batman and Batman versus Superman. He's a badass in that movie. I love the voice changer because I hated the Christian Bale's voice. I hate it. It like makes it hard to watch, especially when he's like doing it and he's all by himself and it's like, shut up. But I also think that Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne is the best Bruce Wayne. He's usually a prominent person in the Gotham world through his company, Wayne Enterprises and stuff. And what I liked in the Nolan trilogy is he doesn't give a crap what other people think of him. Like, he puts up a persona that really like pushes people away from thinking that he's Batman. So I think I like Christian Bale's definitive take on Bruce Wayne, especially in Batman Begins when he kicks everybody out of his house and they think he's just drunk.
All right.
And I also am like right there, right behind Batman Begins is the definitive take on Batman, right behind the Batman in BVS, Batman versus Superman. So it's hard for me to choose BVS over Batman Begins because I love Batman Begins and BVS was a terrible movie, but the Batman was definitely the highlight in BVS. So I'm right there with you guys on multiple points.
Yeah, I think honestly, Morgan, you're absolutely right. If we had gotten a standalone Ben Affleck Batman movie, which is what we should have gotten from beginning if DC hadn't rushed everything, right? I think this conversation, we'd be having a different conversation. I really do. And
it could have helped me because I'm not a fan of his Bruce Wayne. So maybe it could have helped me in that sense. But I love his Batman. So
yeah.
Now I will say I am looking forward to Robert Pattinson.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the first trailer we got from that has
the news
shown
we've
me
heard
that
about that screening.
Yeah,
it sounds
honestly,
like it's going to be good.
We're a year away from that movie, which really sucks because I want to see it so bad. But the one trailer we've got from it was amazing.
This is probably a follow-up idea for something that we should talk about. Is Batman the most reinvented character out there? Is of all the comic book characters, is Batman the most reimagined of all of them? Like, you see him in, and
I mean, I'd almost say Joker is. We've gotten like 3-4 different Jokers. But
true,
that's
but
a really,
we've
I
had
like
3
that
or 4 different Batmans. You know, it's.
Yeah, that's true. I would say that they're a little bit more close to each other than the Jokers are.
Close
to each other. Anyway,
but like versus Superman or versus Spider-Man.
Good topic. Good topic for some other time. But let's get to the rest of the list because time. Superman is next on the list. My definitive take is Superman 1 with Christopher Reeve. I think he's the definitive Superman. I enjoy Henry Cavill's Superman more, but if I was picking like the definitive take on Superman, when I think of Superman, I think of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, and that John Williams score.
Yeah, I mean that's the definitive Superman theme for sure. So.
Yeah, Morg, what do you think?
I'm going Henry Cavill. I just feel he fits the Superman part so well that when I think Superman, I think him. He looks like him. He acts like him. He sounds like him. And I would go with, Superman, his Superman 1. he didn't get it to, unfortunately. But
he was in other movies.
Yeah. He was in other movies. But no, Superman 1, did they just call it the Superman or the Man of Steel?
Man of Steel.
I think that's the definitive take on Superman for me.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Again, we could be having a different conversation if Nick Cage got to play him like he was supposed to.
I mean, I'm surprised you guys didn't say Brandon Routh because Brandon Routh was amazing. Not really, but he did have one of the best Superman scenes when he saves the plane. So
yeah, that is
staying in the DC universe one more time. Wonder Woman. What is the definitive take on Wonder Woman? Now we haven't got a lot of Wonder Woman in media or in the nerd world, but we have a TV show back from the 70s. We have the movies with Gal Gadot. What's the definitive take on Wonder Woman? Me personally, I think it's Wonder Woman 1. I think this is an easy answer, but could be something different for the older guy in the room.
I'm not gonna go there. So I am gonna say the movie, for sure. So Gal is amazing. They do a great job of fleshing out her background and kind of giving her a really great origin story. They kind of alluded to it in the Batman vs Superman setup as to what her history was going to be, but yeah, I tend to agree with you. That first Wonder Woman movie that they made was really, really tremendous. It was they knocked it out of the park with that one. The score was good, a little overused in some parts, that theme that she has, but for the most part, it was really, really tremendous. So I loved the TV show as a kid, but it was kind of campy, and I can't really say Patty Jenkins just did such a good job in that other one. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like we're all in agreement on this one.
Yeah, it should be an easy one.
Yeah.
Now here's one where you have the same actor, but across a bunch of different movies. Wolverine. Which one is the definitive take on your Wolverine? And this is where it changes it up a bit because you have the same actor doing it. But I will say, being an anti-Wolverine guy, Logan is, that is old man Logan in that movie, and I think he does a fantastic job as Logan in Logan. So it's pretty easy for me to say that one. But also X-Men 2, he does a great job with going berserker in the mansion when they invade the mansion, and he does a really good job in that one. So it could be different. It could be X-Men 1 for you guys, where he was first introduced. What do you think, Morgan?
No, it's Logan. I think X-Men 2 is second place in that. The problem with the X-Men, one of the problems with the X-Men trilogy is that they didn't get to show that viciousness of Wolverine like they got to in Logan. Mm-hmm. Like Logan was a true
rated R
Wolverine, rated R. And they, even with the PG-13, they could, like that scene where they the guys come in the mansion and he fights them in X-Men 2.
That's Berserker, yeah.
If we could have got more of that, even though like you weren't seeing, the blood and heads getting chopped off and things like that, that's fine. Yeah. But to show that like that's just what he is, that vicious, he is an animal. Deep down inside, he has that. Right. That would have been good. But no, Logan is
pretty easy.
Logan's one of my top comic book movies. So
yeah, I'm presuming actually, Eric, you're gonna say Logan.
Yeah, I will say Logan. I did really like the Wolverine from 2013. The beginning of that movie where he walks into the bar and those guys had killed that bear and he takes that whole room down, and then the gal comes in and she does her thing. I really actually enjoyed the Wolverine. I thought it was a good standalone, but then later they come along with Logan, and I was like, holy smokes, like this is Logan, this is, and to have him kind of facing his own past and then also his own mortality was tremendous. They did such a great job top to bottom. So great flick.
The Wolverine was, the first 2/3 was good. It definitely went to comic book campy in the last third of the movie, and Silver Samurai is a better character than they gave him justice. So let's move over to the Marvel universe. We have first on the docket the man who launched the MCU himself, Iron Man. Who do you think, or what movie is the definitive take on Iron Man? For me, it's pretty simple. It's just, when you have a really good origin story, it's hard to beat that as the definitive take on a character. And Iron Man has the best origin movie in the MCU, in my own opinion. So I'm going to go with 2008's Iron Man. I will say that his take in the Avengers is right up there, though. He was really good in 2012's The Avengers. What do you guys think? Eric?
You're wrong. But
we're all wrong.
No, I think it is the best of the origin stories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, hands down. So they just did a tremendous job. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Like he is really, really, really great. I think if I had, if you to pin me down on this one though, I think Endgame is the better of that. To be honest, because you get to see more emotion and more character development from him in that movie, I think, in a very brief amount of time, because you don't get to see a lot of any of those characters really over the course of the thing, but you can see his growth from still being this arrogant son of a bee to he cares for Pepper, he cares for his daughter, he's got more to lose than really any of the rest of them have, if you will. None of them have really any, other than Hawkeye, none of them really have any family that they are the family, and so he has more to give than the rest of them. And his relationship with Peter Parker, when he hugs that kid, you're like, it's hard not to get emotional watching him do that. And so the growth of his character in Endgame and the sacrifice that he makes in Endgame, I think, to me is the definitive Iron Man.
So I think the definitive Iron Man, and it's something that I would have. They're doing movies, so they can only explore so much in each movie. I'm going with Iron Man 2.
Whoa.
So I know. Now I'm not saying it's the best movie, but I am saying that in that movie you are seeing the dark side of Iron Man. don't forget in the comics, I mean, the guy's an alcoholic. He is an ass. Like, that's what he is. And you see that more in Iron Man 2. And kind of who he, I don't want to say really is, but who he is most of the time. Yeah. You get that in Iron Man 2. Now, they don't flesh it out too much. You know, they only go so far with it. But I feel like as far as the character goes, that is him. In a nutshell, Iron Man 2. That's him.
Okay. I think his best performance... I think his best performance came in Infinity War, but I also get what you're saying in Iron Man 2. I mean, it was they adapted the Demon in the Bottle storyline, which is one of the all-time best Iron Man stories. So it was a bit of the Armor War storyline in there too. So it was. I think it gets way more hate than it deserves, Iron Man 2, but you're wrong as well. So. Next on the list is my main man, Captain America. I'm going to go last on this one. I'm going to start with you, Morgan. What do you think is the definitive take on Captain America? And if you say the 1990s movie, I will come through this screen.
Hey, you mean that's not it?
And I'll throat punch you.
The definitive take on Captain America. See, this is tough for me because I feel like every movie he's in is the definitive take on Captain America. You know, like his character is he. It wasn't. I don't want to say the same, but that is the core of Cap. Is he is the same, right? You know, he has his strict code, his morals, his values, and he does not change. Right. That's what I like about him. I mean, you have the origin, of course, which is great. You really get to see that of him when he was weak, and he was always that same person. Now he just has muscles and super strength, and he's still that same person. But I'm going to go with
much bigger Dwayne Johnson.
I am going with Civil War
good one.
On this one, because that is a movie where he really had to stick to his convictions, even though it meant fighting your friends and possibly losing friends and becoming a criminal, because he knew what was the right thing to do, and he had to do it, and that's what he's all about.
Bingo. Eric?
Yeah, I think The Winter Soldier is mine. But I think Morgan's not wrong about him. He doesn't change. You know, he is the same all the way through the series. That's the core of who he is, you know. So I think that's a good perspective on it. When I watched The Winter Soldier, when everything around you is not what it seems, and you know, where everything that you think you don't know, and you don't know who to trust, you don't know any of that stuff, when it all comes falling apart, and you know, and yet he still trusts his instinct about his buddy, you know, like he's like, I love that guy and I know he's still in there somewhere, you know, and so he's fighting for him to bring him back, and I think at the end of the day, I think Winter Soldier is my, plus we get introduced to the future the future Captain America in that one, you know, and whether they, you know, I don't think they knew at the time that they were going to do that, but maybe they did. Maybe Kevin Feige knew. So, but yeah. So I just think I think Civil War, or not Civil War, but Winter Soldier is my favorite. So yeah.
I mean, Winter Soldier is my favorite Captain America movie, but Civil War it's like 1A, 1B. I do think that Civil War, for the reasons you listed, Morg, is the definitive take on Captain America. I mean, for somebody like Cap to stand, you know, and in the movie, Sharon gets the speech, but in the comic book Civil War story, it's Cap telling Spidey, like, stand there like a tree and don't move. It's one of the all-time best Cap quotes of all time, and they gave it to Sharon to really motivate Cap to stand like a tree and don't move in the Civil War movie. And it was really awesome seeing Captain America motivate other people to fight their friends too, you know, because he's got the voice that can command a god. That's what you've always known about Captain America, is he can, you know, people like Thor and Hulk, these world beaters, they will follow Captain America because they respect him that much. And so man, it's hard, because in game, when he stands against Thanos and his army, and he thinks he's alone, and, you know, he stands up broken, but he could do this all day, and he stands up against Thanos not knowing that he's going to get some help.
Right.
That moment might be the definitive moment.
Yeah, he has that true soldier, you know, he's not going to stop until he's dead or until the enemy loses.
I mean, I would have definitely played dead at that part, but Captain America stands back up and tightens the shield and says, let's do this. So let's get to the greatest hero of all time. Who do we think is the definitive take on Spider-Man? And we've talked a lot about this lately, so maybe we have some really easy answers, but as far as Spider-Man on screen, I think the best Spider-Man is still Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Now, again, I think the definitive take on Peter Parker is Tom Holland in Civil War as well. I think that's the definitive Peter Parker. But when it comes to just the character of Spider-Man, I think Andrew Garfield played him the best, and especially when he had that suit, the best suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2. What do you think, Eric?
Tobey Maguire. In the first Spider-Man, I loved it. To me, it shows the progression of a kid who wakes up one morning and all of a sudden can do stuff, extraordinary stuff, you know, and his whole discovering his power stuff, his whole the tragedy of him not causing his uncle's death, but and the responsibility that he feels, the responsibility that he then feels afterwards, and then taking on, you know, billionaire evil guy, you know, is just it's a good progression. It's a great telling. Now, do I think that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man? No, and I don't. I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. I really do. I know you really like Andrew Garfield, but I never got into him as that character. But the story in a concise, like, if I only had to watch one Spider-Man movie and to figure out who Spider-Man is, it would be the Tobey Maguire one. So
I like that. That.
Yeah. Wow. Again, everybody's wrong. No, no. So I'm a little torn on this. The definitive Spider-Man to me is Tom Holland. I think he is the best of both worlds. I would go with his first Spider-Man movie that he does. We don't see the Uncle Ben and all that, but we know that. Like, we know he's been through it. We know he's dealing with it. And we're seeing more of he knows his powers, but he's still learning. He's still, you know, it's not the, can I jump off a roof? Let's see. He's still learning. I think that's great. Now, there is another Spider-Man that I really like, and that is the
Spider-Verse
Peter Parker from Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That helps Miles and teaches him that Peter Parker, not the spoiler alert, the Peter Parker that dies in the beginning, the other one. Because I think he's a great take on the character. He's an older Spider-Man, so he's been through crap, you know, and here he is teaching somebody what to do, how to be like me, and going into that wing, even though he was hesitant at first. And then the voice actor, I'm dropping the ball on his name for a second there. Jake Johnson, thank you. I think he does a great job at voice acting him. I'd love to see him as a Peter Parker if he fit the role more, but he does not have the Peter Parker look, unfortunately. But I think he was great, and then plus I'm a little biased because he gave my son a Spider-Man shout out through an email. So
that's right. I remember that, and I agree. Homecoming is the definitive Spider-Man movie for me. I agree with that. I think if you could put Garfield Spider-Man in that movie, would be amazing with Holland's Parker. It'd be you'd have the perfect mix of Spider-Man. But that was a good call out for Spider-Verse. I like that. All right. Well, let's rapid fire through a few of these so we can finish up real quick. The Flash. Definitive take on The Flash.
The Flash TV show.
Okay. Eric?
Yeah, probably. Same.
I'm going to say Justice League. Captain Marvel. I had to throw that one in there.
Captain Marvel.
I'm going to go in-game.
I would probably say Captain Marvel, the movie.
I'm going in-game.
I'm going in-game as well.
Okay. Let's see. That one doesn't work. Thor. Adventures in Babysitting.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Clearly the answer.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
I'm gonna go Infinity War.
Okay.
That's great.
That's a good
call.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's almost like Ragnarok and Infinity War. It's,
Right.
The Hulk. Avengers, 2012 Avengers. I think is the best Hulk we've gotten.
I'm going
and Banner.
Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Edward Norton also. I thought that was really good. He played a great Bruce Banner. You know.
I really wish.
Although I really did love the old Hulk TV show. You know, with Lou Ferrigno as I know it's not the popular understanding of the Hulk, but when I was a kid, that was I loved that show. I watched it all the time, and it was super cool. So you know, this kind of Kane walking the earth, you know, and then occasionally you get angry, and you won't like me when I'm angry. You know, I mean, it was great. So yeah,
it's a classic for a reason. Yep. Here's an easy one. Daredevil. You got a Ben Affleck movie.
I'm sure we all know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, Charlie Cox.
Ben Affleck.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Now, I would say that the Ben Affleck director's cut, or the director's cut of the Ben Affleck movie is really good. It's much better than the original version. So, and we'll end on the X-Men as a team. What's the definitive take on the X-Men team?
The future X-Men project that'll come out. We go with
first.
First Class.
I want to say First Class. You know, but I think I'll just say the first X-Men movie was actually it was good. I mean, it was a good origin movie.
Definitely good for the time.
For the time it was good.
It holds up, but it's good for the time.
Yeah, but it shows you what the X-Men are all about. And I think, you know, if you didn't know anything about the X-Men, if you hadn't been introduced to any of the characters, I think it would do well. Although First Class is really good. It's really good.
When you think about X-Men as a team, when you think of X-Men as a team, I think, and you don't think about any specific characters, First Class wins this.
Yeah,
I still think it might be the best X-Men movie, and so I would say First Class. So Morgan, you said Days of Future Past.
Yeah, because I mean, you're getting the older
snooze fest
X-Men. You know, in the beginning, you're seeing them working together. You're seeing
I hate this movie so much.
Iceman turning into his full ice form. You know, I just
for
feel
1 second.
I know, but I feel like you're getting the X-Men in that movie. I don't know. It's plus I also think it's one of the better X-Men movies.
Whatever, Morgan.
You're wrong. No,
you know that version of Wolverine's good.
Wrong.
No, we all know.
You're wrong.
Listen, I think that this is a good topic because we all have our own opinions and we all think we're right. I mean, Eric and I are Aries, so we always think we're right. But it's one of those topics that is fun to discuss because of our different opinions, and I love that and I love hearing why you guys think, why you think a certain character or a certain movie is their definitive take. And the Batman discussion is something that will continue. I can't wait to do a full Batman episode, and whenever we get a chance to do that. So good topic. Thanks for that. It was a lot of fun. Let's answer a quick nerd question from the NRDbox from good old nerd BT. He says, pick your dream space team. You can pick a pilot, a sidekick, a robot, doctor, and a warrior. Who do you take? I'm going to start with you, Morgan.
Crap. You should start with Eric.
Eric?
I'm still thinking.
Okay. Pilot.
Here's what I don't know is, like, do you get to just, like,
I'm thinking
any pilot, any sidekick, any robot, any doctor, and any warrior?
That's what I'm going with. I think anything goes.
Okay. So I'm picking Maverick as my pilot. I'm gonna have to really put some thought. This was a good one. So a sidekick. Who's a good sidekick?
Jar Jar Binks.
No. I think a good sidekick. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. I'll have to put more thought into that. A robot. You guys have a good robot in mind? I like Sunny from iRobot. I'll pick Sunny from iRobot. A doctor. Ooh, who's a good doctor?
You gotta go Star Trek, right?
I don't. I don't have to at all, actually.
I guess doctor. I mean, that could really.
I might go with
Does Doctor Strange count?
House. Yeah, Doctor Strange. Benedict. Yeah, I will go with Doctor Strange before he became a wizard, a warrior. Who's a maybe Thor from Infinity War. I'm gonna go with Thor from Infinity War as my warrior. I still don't know what sidekick I'd pick yet, so I'm still thinking about that. I feel like I'm the only one picking things here. You guys,
I know. We'll let Eric go. It's a lot harder than you
Is my
think.
chest here like really that distracting? Because it was really distracting earlier on.
Can't even see it.
I know it really is. It's the light is blocking it out. I was hoping it would show more.
All right. So my pilot would be. Gosh, I think my pilot would probably be. Luke Skywalker.
Oh, good one.
With him as my pilot.
You get more out of Luke Skywalker than just being a pilot. I like.
Yeah. Okay. I would go with, from a sidekick perspective. I would probably go with some sort of comic relief person. So
you gotta get a laugh in there.
Yeah, I would go with. Who would I have? Is probably Goose from Top Gun. I think I'd probably grab Goose.
That's a good one.
Pretty funny guy. For a robot, robot, I'd probably go. Yeah, right. Ultron. Robot.
Vision.
I'm trying to think.
Vision's a good robot.
Yeah, he's a good robot.
Does he count as a robot? Isn't he technically something else?
He's a robot. He's like the most advanced robot of all time.
So robot ones are really hard. Doctor, I'd definitely go with my first instinct was to go with McCoy, but I actually would go with Beverly Crusher, just because, and like 1989 Beverly Crusher,
I don't know that
1991, because she was super hot, and at least I thought she was super hot. Beverly, she's from Star Trek: The Next Generation. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, from a warrior perspective, this one's hard because do you pick somebody who has like magic abilities or not? I tend to always go practical, so I'm gonna say the Punisher probably would be my warrior, just because the dude's pretty. he's
badass.
pretty resourceful and pretty badass. So, so, and then from a robot, I'm gonna be lame, and I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna go with like R2D2. That'd be my robot.
He's good.
That's not a lame answer.
He's good.
By the way.
He can keep a secret.
Yeah.
He keeps all the secrets.
That man does not talk.
He ain't no
right.
snitch.
For my pilot, I'm going Han Solo.
Good one.
And not just because he's, pilot in space, but he's one of the greatest pilots of all time.
He made the Kessel Run and
less than 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
For my robot, I'm going with the robot from Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
I'm going with a Star Wars theme here, but
yeah.
What was it? K2?
It is
K209.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Oh, K2SO.
Or are you thinking
Rogue One was
really K209, or are you thinking Ed 209?
Oh, I'm thinking Ed 209. Yeah,
from RoboCop.
Yeah, for RoboCop.
and it's K2SO in Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One. Yep.
That's I might go with that robot.
For Doctor, I am going with Dr. Cox from Scrubs. He's one of my favorite doctors of all times, and you need his realism every once in a while. Yeah, you need the rants of him just doing his thing. Warrior, I'm going with Cap. I think he is a solid soldier that you want on your side and will always keep everybody in check. What else do we have? Sidekick?
Yeah, Sidekick's still tough.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
I'd probably go with Chewbacca.
I know, like he's definitely a good sidekick. I mean, can anyone be a sidekick, or does it have to be somebody that's considered a sidekick in a movie?
I think it has to be somebody considered a sidekick.
Or did you guys pick your sidekick?
Here, let's see if we can pick up some best sidekick.
I did. I said Goose from Top Gun. I thought he'd be a good sidekick because he's funny, and he's a good radar operator. So if you need somebody to work the OG9,
sidekick is Bumblebee
Samwise
considered a sidekick? You go with a Transformer. I mean, that's how the sidekick.
This is the 11 greatest sidekicks of all time. So we
Knuckles.
have
Luigi.
Garth Algar from Wayne's World. Gromit from Wallace and Gromit. Yeah. Sam from Casablanca. Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Timon and Pumbaa. Genie from that's a good one.
Genie. Because then it's game over at that point.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee, Goose, Ron and Hermio. Chewbacca and Donkey. That's a very it's not like the definitive list.
What about Winter Soldier? Is he considered a sidekick?
He's considered a villain.
All right,
he is. And
what about
Bucky
Barnes? How about Bucky Barnes? Is that Falcon?
Yeah, Bucky Barnes is like a sidekick. Really good one. John Watson from Sherlock Holmes. Short round. No.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. What about Nightwing?
There you go.
Or I guess Robin.
Robin was
actually the Nightwing character is a really great character. Yep.
He is. He's basically Bucky Barnes. That's how good he is at fighting.
Yeah. You know what? I'll throw Robin in there. Robin / Nightwing.
Good choice.
Silent Bob. Does anyone want to choose Silent Bob?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess he would be the sidekick because he doesn't really talk.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot.
There's some good ones in there. I think Nightwing's a good one. Bucky Barnes is a good one. Man, I like John Watson, smart guy.
Yeah.
So, good question from BT.
Yeah, that's tough. That's something like you could really put some thought into.
Yep.
Maybe we put some thought onto it and we release it on social media or something, and we'll think about it.
Come back.
And then send us your guys' space theme or space team. We want to know who your space team is.
But I do know BT said he picked Ed 209 for his robot.
And who's that again?
Yeah, ED 209. It's the RoboCop in the RoboCop movie. It's the first.
the robot. He doesn't do stairs.
Yes.
I mean, that is a downside to picking that robot. If you have to go up anything.
Okay. Well, good to know. So, BT, send us the rest of your space team. With that being said, the dad cast today has been great. A lot of fun. Love getting the dads together. And we'll have to do this more often because it's a lot of fun having you on, Morgan. It's a lot of fun having this dad theme kind of run through the show. And we love being dads. I mean, it was National Daughter Day the other day, and I love my two daughters so much, more than anything in this world. Joey and Penny. They are pretty amazing. So I know you have a couple daughters, Eric. So
Lexi and Amelia are pretty great kids. So and then I got that other one too, but he doesn't count on the daughter side. But,
and Morgan, I know you don't have a daughter, but you are a dad, and
I am a dad.
We know Carson is like a mini Morgan, so you're doing something right.
It is. I feel bad for my wife.
Don't feel bad because
he's got my humor. That is true.
she signed up.
Got her.
Yeah.
got her good. And we, it's not going to hurt the world to have another Morgan Santo. So,
that's right.
Or he'll be Carson Santo and he'll be his own guy, but have the essence of Morgan Santo. We love it. So thank you, Morg, for coming on. Eric,
thanks for having me.
Thank you. You're always amazing to do this with. I love it and having such a good time.
Thanks,
and next week we're going to do our full-on Bond episode with the release of No Time to Die. So looking forward to that. And with that being said, see you next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya. Bye.